This is every superhero appearance in Family Guy. And we're gonna go in release order, so we'll start with the show's first ever superhero appearance, which took place in the 3rd episode of the first season, Chitty Chitty Death Bang. Okay, so Peter's trying to drum up an excuse for how he fumbled getting a reservation at Cheesy Charlie's for Stewie's first birthday.
Lois, that Cheesy Charlie's is no good. See, it happened like this.
He describes the place as a horror house filled with torture, danger, and doom. So basically what a normal children's restaurant looks like to a non-sober adult.
Welcome to Cheesy Charlie's.
Heil Hitler! Actually, the name's Griffin.
Peter, being the brave husband that he is, tries to walk away from the deal, but the manager won't take no for an answer.
Please don't make me angry, pal. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
And just like that, he turns into the Incredible Hulk. And then everyone stood up and clapped, and the president gave him the Medal of Honor. At least that's probably where this was going next if anyone believed him.
Bravo, Peter. You are the Spalding Gray of crap.
And next, we get our first cameo from DC Comics in the same season's 5th episode, A Hero Sits Next Door. We actually get to see quite a few heroes in a cutaway involving the Justice League and a little adult entertainment.
Sorry, Wonder Woman, I got 3 kings. Now let's see your pair.
So we've got Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, The Flash, Hawkman, Aquaman, and I actually don't know who that last guy is. Maybe either Black Lightning or Duke Thomas, but you guys can let me know in the comments. Oh, and Robin's there too, though his attention appears to be elsewhere.
Robin, what are you looking at me for? Look at her.
I mean, anyone who dresses like that is probably gonna raise some questions. But Superman makes his return in an unlikely place in the 2nd episode of season 2, Holy Crap. After losing his job due to his dad Francis, Peter believes that his failures as a son will send him straight to HE double hockey sticks. Or whatever the hell that spells.
Even my own dad doesn't love me. Face it, I'm going to hell.
While there, Peter sees all the likely suspects you would expect, including Superman?
I killed her. She made a crack about me being faster than a speeding bullet, so I ripped her in half like a phone book.
I guess the Man of Steel's greatest weakness isn't kryptonite, it's his self-esteem. Honestly, same. And next, in Season 2, Episode 14, Peter gets a save from your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. So while Peter's undercover in high school as popular kid Lando Griffin, Lois gets onto him after he dumps Meg for Connie. Look, I know no one knows he's her father, but I think it's better for everyone if Peter doesn't try to date his own daughter.
And when the most popular girl in school asks you to dance, you don't say no, you say, okay.
So Lois forbids her 40-year-old husband from attending the dance. But just like any man-child, he rebels.
I gotta fight for my right to party.
So he decides to sneak out the window, teen movie style, and nearly falls off the roof before being saved by our favorite webhead.
Thanks, Spider-Man.
Everybody gets 1.
It's comforting knowing he's always looking out, but it's also kind of messed up to know that he won't save you after you've used your 1 save, right? Next up, Lois takes on some of Superman's greatest enemies in the Season 3 episode, Lethal Weapons. So after Lois becomes a master taijutsu fighter, Peter's eager to get her to fight anyone he can.
Is your refrigerator running? Because if it is, it probably runs like you. Very homosexually.
Peter manages to aggravate everyone in the bar, including General Zod, Nan, and Ursa.
Krypton sucks.
But luckily, someone left their Phantom Zone prison park nearby so that they could mirror their banishment in the first Superman movie. Who knows how many drunk people have accidentally fallen into that? And in Season 3's temporarily banned episode, When You Wish Upon a Weinstein, one of Batman's most iconic villains makes a brief appearance. While attending temple for the first time, Peter has some hang-ups about wearing a yarmulke due to his Catholic upbringing.
What the hell?
Oh dear.
Looks like the good Lord has shooters always watching. The Brides of Christ lock and load and head out to give Peter a stern smack on the wrist. Oh, and the Penguin is there?
Excellent, excellent.
Not entirely sure what he's doing here, but I guess the only thing the bird loves more than crime is Catholic justice. And next, Peter reveals he was once a member of a lesser-known superhero duo in Season 4's Fast Times at Buddy Cianci Junior High. So Peter tells Chris that everyone's done something they aren't proud of. For him, it was becoming a Wonder Twin.
Peter, the old schoolhouse is on fire. Let's go.
Wonder Twin powers, activate.
I'd believe they're fraternal, but you can't convince me they're identical. While Jaina takes the form of a hawk, Peter goes a different route.
Shape of Jaina's tampon.
Not sure how that's gonna save school children from a fire, but hey, you're the superhero, not me. And in the Season 4 episode Blind Ambition, we learn that Peter also apparently used to live with the Justice League. So Peter's struggling with being newly blind, feeling as out of place as he did the time he lived in the Fortress of Solitude.
We must stop Lex Luthor before he irradiates the world's supply of gold.
Yeah, that sounds pretty important and all, Soups, but Peter's got some real issues to address.
We are officially running low on Mr. Pibb and Cheez-Its.
Look, that's a fair problem. That place is in the middle of frozen nowhere, and Superman can get anywhere in like 5 seconds. Rent in the Arctic can't be cheap either, so really they should be thanking Peter for pitching in. And in the following episode, the Cleveland-Loretta Quagmire, Peter gets confused by one of Superman's abilities. So Peter sits down with Cleveland to ask a very important question.
What is the story with that cellophane S that Superman rips off his chest and throws at the bad guy?
Yeah, so this is, from what I understand, the only time Superman has ever done that, which confused everyone, even the villains.
That was a minor inconvenience.
Yeah, well, that's the idea. Slowed you down.
I'll say.
But I can't help but think there was something more important to talk about.
Your wife's cheating on you.
What?
And in Season 4's 14th episode, PTV, we get our one and only appearance of the Native American superhero Apache Chief. So Peter's starting his own television station and needs a hand from the Apache Chief to install the satellite dish on the roof.
Chuck.
So this guy holds the distinction of being the only character on this list who isn't actually a comic book character. Apache Chief was created for the show Super Friends to help diversify the cast and never really got used all that much afterward. So it sounds like his days aren't too busy anymore.
Well, that was the high point of my day. Guess I'll go gamble.
In another Season 4 episode, The Father, the Son, and the Holy Fonz, we see the exciting adventures Aquaman gets up to.
Yeah?
Hey, can you grab me another beer?
Look, let's not act like this isn't how most of us would act if we could talk to animals. But who would have thought a guy who lives underwater doesn't know how being underwater works?
Try to keep the salt water out of it, if you could.
Try to keep the salt water.
Yeah.
We're surrounded by salt water, you know.
I personally avoid peeving off the creatures that literally pee in the same space I breathe.
Yeah, you want me to wipe this too?
Oh, wow, that's a helpful tone.
In the 29th episode of Season 4, Peter gets his superheroes and his theme songs mixed up. So to try to seduce Lois, Peter does his best Spider-Man impression.
Here comes Peter on the clothesline party. His name's Peter. It is Spider-Man.
Except that's not the tune of the Spider-Man theme song, it's the classic Batman theme. Well, it seems to do it for Lois regardless.
Help, Spider-Man! I'm being attacked by the evil Rosebush.
That's not even a real Spider-Man villain! Bunch of posers in this family, I tell ya. And in the 30th episode of Season 4, we see Superman trying to flirt with Wonder Woman while she's using her invisible jet.
This is awkward. I'm actually in the lavatory of the invisible plane.
Which is just a fancy way of saying restroom. You know what's the worst part? If the plane's invisible and the toilet's invisible, then that means Superman is seeing everything.
So I couldn't help but notice you didn't wash your hands in the invisible sink.
Sure, that's the grossest thing to come out of this interaction. In the first episode of Season 5, Robin finally gets his own movie, and it's just as exciting as it sounds.
Don't worry, I'm here.
Robin? They said you?
Yeah, everyone else was busy.
And if you're wondering what a preteen in a Speedo can do here, I don't really think he knows either.
I got a cell phone. Oh, no bars.
We can always count on you, Boy Wonder. And in the third episode of that season, Hell Comes to Quahog, the show made a pretty funny prediction about a member of the X-Men. So Iceman's wife is questioning his whereabouts last night.
Played some poker, had some brewskis, you know.
Yeah, that little ice trail of yours paints a different story, buddy.
At least they know how to touch a man. Oh, walk away.
While this is probably just a dumb joke, it actually predicted the future, as the character of Iceman would later come out as gay in 2015's all-new X-Men number 40, nearly 10 years after this episode aired. So, The Simpsons can predict huge world events, and Family Guy can predict comic book characters' love life preferences. Gotta love it. In Season 5's 10th episode, Peter's Two Dads, Peter harnesses the power of an Amazonian to find his real father. So after Francis dies, Peter learns that the man was not his father and that his real dad's in Ireland.
And I met a young rogue named Mickey McFinnigan. Peter, Mickey is your real father.
So Peter decides to suit up and track down his Irish daddy.
To Ireland!
I'm glad he's excited, but maybe don't be dressed as Wonder Woman when you meet your dad for the first time. Or at least just wear something over the Speedo for all of our sakes. And in Season 5's 13th episode, we see the Fantastic Four's thing lose, well, his thing. After Peter catches Lois and Bill Clinton sleeping together, Lois professes that it's a bigger mistake than when the thing married Lorena Bobbitt.
Where is it? Where'd she throw it? Oh God, oh God!
Is this what you're looking for?
Oh, geez, dude, at least put on some gloves before touching that. And if you don't really get the reference, Lorena Bobbitt was a woman who cut off her husband's appendage back in the early 90s, and it kinda became a bit of a cultural phenomenon. So much so, the Family Guys referenced it like 3 times, even as recently as 2019.
The decade of Viagra, but also Lorena Bobbitt. So it was kind of a yay-boo period for pieces.
And in the 17th episode of Season 5, Lois apparently uncovers a terrible plot set by the Legion of Doom. So when Lois becomes mayor and needs more funding, she tries to use some good old-fashioned fear-mongering to get the people on her side.
Hitler is plotting with the Legion of Doom. to assassinate Jesus.
Sounds like a bunch of BS, but...
Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom...
How did she discover our plan?
Alright, supervillain roll call. We've got Giganta, Black Manta, Solomon Grundy, Bizarro, Scarecrow, Lex Luthor, Captain Cold, Sinestro, Cheetah, Brainiac, Gorilla Grodd, and Toyman. And one of them crapped the bed on keeping the plan a secret.
Me, Solomon Grundy, kind of dropped the ball on that one.
And our favorite wall crawler returns to make another save in Season 6's Believe It or Not, Joe's Walking on Air. So after Joe gets a leg transplant, the guys join him in doing all the activities he couldn't do before, like rock climbing. No harness rock climbing. You just got those legs and now you're risking losing all of your body parts?
Yeah, I'm afraid I might.
But never fear, Spider-Man is here, just as he was 4 seasons ago.
Everybody gets one. Tell him, Peter.
Apparently everybody gets one.
Bingo.
And Peter's already used his save, so he better be gripping those rocks extra tight. And in the 6th episode of Season 6, Padre de Familia, the Griffins watch that 5th Superman movie we never got.
We now return to Superman 5, The Broken Condom.
Superman and Lois Lane are getting ready for a date, but his trusty X-ray vision reveals that they're a party of 3.
Okay, ready.
Ooh, on second thought, I got something I gotta do back on Krypton.
You mean your home planet that blew up?
I think we should see other people.
I'm not sure if they have child support on Krypton, but somebody might want to fill him in on that. And Superman returns in the next episode of that season, Peter's daughter, or at least his actor does.
Hey, is that Dean Cain on that park bench? Oh, God.
Dean Cain starred as Superman in the 90s TV series Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman, and not much else of note, gauging by his desperation for attention. But Spider-Man is back on the chopping block 2 episodes later in Season 6's Back to the Woods. So Stewie's making a fake ID for Peter and claims he can do it faster than Spider-Man gets laid.
Oh God, I'm so sorry. That's never happened to me before.
Oh, so that's not his regular webbing. Ugh, gross. Hey, here's a fun Spider-Man fact. Not only is his blood radioactive, but all of his bodily fluids are. And one time he actually gave his lover cancer because of it. Aren't comic books fun?
You know, some people say that's good for your hair.
Yeah, maybe if you're trying to lose all of your hair. Careful where you aim that web shooter, Spidey. And in Season 7, Episode 4, Baby Not On Board, Stewie calls out just how useless Aquaman is. In Stewie's defense, Peter did replace his apple juice with gasoline after getting a gas card.
You damn fool! You're more useless than Aquaman!
At least for any crime that happens on land, which I assume is like 99% of crimes.
Aquaman, help!
Hey, let her go!
Can you not call on your shark friends to help, oh great ruler of the ocean?
You're in for it now, buddy. I got like 5 fish coming to help.
Thanks, Aquaman. And in Season 7's Foxy Lady, we learn that Commissioner Gordon has more than one signal he uses with Batman.
Ugh, I don't need to know about that.
True friends are glad to know about their buddy's regular bowel movements, so you, sir, are no true friend. And for the opening of Season 8's 2nd episode, Family Guy, we see the Griffins portrayed as the Justice League.
Here in this great hall of justice are the most powerful forces of good ever assembled.
This is actually a pretty faithful recreation of the intro to the Super Friends cartoon from the 70s. It shows Peter as Superman, Brian and Stewie as Batman and Robin, Lois as Wonder Woman, and Chris as Aquaman. Oh.
And Meg.
And Meg! This is just a fun little homage to the writers' childhoods, and I always appreciate it when the show does cool references like this. And in the Season 8 episode, Hannah Banana, Aquaman does finally become useful, just as a meal. So Chris and the monkey who's been living in his closet finally become friends. They play catch, prank Meg, and go fishing together. But good on them for being responsible and turning their catch into a meal. Do you think he tastes more like man or more like fish? I'm sure there's a comic out there that can answer my question. But Aquaman gets a bit more respect this time around in Season 8's Quagmire's dad. So while Quagmire talks about how his dad is his hero, Peter decides to share who his hero is too.
You know who was my hero? Aquaman. And his secret alter ego, Arthur Curry.
Sorry, but if you looked at the entire Justice League and thought Aquaman was the coolest, I don't know if I can trust you. As for his secret identity, it's a wonder he's been able to keep it.
Just doing my job.
Arthur Curry! Did you see Aquaman?
At least Clark Kent wears glasses. Are you telling me your civilian disguise is just a suit? I at least hope you have a good dry cleaner for all the pond scum. As if there weren't enough references in Season 8's Something 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 Dark Side, the show also throws in a Legion of Doom reference alongside the Star Wars ones. So when Luke lands on the swamp planet of Dagobah, filled with all kinds of dangers like swamp monsters and...
Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom...
Not now!
Okay.
Oh well, maybe next time. Also, how have I never noticed that their base looks a lot like Darth Vader's helmet? And another episode that gave us a classic TV intro was Season 9's 9th episode, and I'm Joyce Kinney, which parodied The Incredible Hulk. So in this opening, we get the story of David Banner, played by Stewie, experimenting on himself with gamma radiation.
And now, whenever Stewie Griffin grows angry or outraged, a startling metamorphosis occurs.
That metamorphosis being him turning into the Hulk, aka his big green dad, Peter.
Mr. Tucker, don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
In case you haven't caught on, this parodies the intro to the 1970s TV series The Incredible Hulk. Why did they do this? Because they can.
The raging spirit that dwells within him.
And in Season 10's Grumpy Old Man, the Justice League returns, only this time it's in a show called The Super Friends Accountant.
This Hall of Justice is sitting on 5 acres of commercial real estate. How do you afford this?
Back in the day, being a hero was enough to let you afford a giant crystalline fortress. Nowadays, it'll barely get you a 2-bedroom apartment.
Do any of you know billionaire Bruce Wayne?
No, none of us do. And he wouldn't want to lend us money anyway. I hear.
Oh, come on, man. Your superpower is literally being rich. And in that season's 14th episode, Be Careful What You Fish For, Quagmire does his best Aquaman impression in the name of love. So Peter's trying to help his dolphin friend Billy reconcile with his wife Joanne.
I don't care what you or your fat friend here has to say. It's over.
But no sea creature can defy the order of the ruler of the deep, Aquaman.
Get back together.
That's not Aquaman.
Yeah, he's got more of a Barnacle Boy vibe going anyway. And in the 11th episode of Season 10, The Blind Side, Stewie admits that he once easily found the Batcave.
Look, you can't expect to hire 60 workers to dig a cave under your house and then keep it a secret.
Yeah, he should have gone the Tomb of Ramses route and killed all the builders to keep the secret. Too bad about that pesky no-kill rule of his.
They built a Lazy Susan for your nuclear car. That's something they consider conversation-worthy.
And in Season 10's episode, Killer Queen, Peter has a throwdown with the Riddler. So when Peter and Joe are trying to protect Chris from someone who's been attacking fat kids, Peter professes he'll beat down anyone who tries to hurt his family, just like he did with the Riddler. This editing style was used to get around TV censors back in the day, but we can infer what's happening. If someone went all Halo matchmaking on me like that, I'd probably hang up my tights and domino mask for good. And in Season 11, Episode 5, Joe's Revenge, Peter calls on Spider-Man for help, but gets denied. So Peter, Quagmire, and Joe are chasing the man who paralyzed Joe across the rooftops, but he manages to get ahead of them.
Spidey, can you swing us across with your web?
No, I can't swing you across. And it's Spider-Man, not Spidey.
I guess Spidey is reserved for close friends, but not too close, because then they'd probably just call him Peter.
Hey, Petey, do stuff for me.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah, you don't like it. You're a fat nobody, and I'm Spider-Man.
God, whiny neighborhood Spider-Man's more like it. Joe and Quagmire haven't used their one from you yet, so can't you just do them a solid and grow a pair, Spidey? In Season 12's 3 Acts of God, we get a very brief Iron Man pun. So the Griffins are starting their new Sunday tradition of tailgating the Patriots game.
This is the greatest Sunday tradition ever, except for getting all my cutaway gags ready for the week.
There he is on the right, wearing the chef hat. Oh, Iron Man chef, clever. Too bad we'll never see that cutaway. And in Season 12's 17th episode, The Most Interesting Man in the World, the guys catch a pretty depressing episode of Superman on the TV.
Clark, we all have breast cancer.
The doctor says it's as if our breasts have been x-rayed 5 hours a day.
Oh, so X-ray vision is meant literally, isn't it? And we thought Dr. Manhattan was a walking cancer giver.
Oh my god, that's terrible. First every woman I've ever known, and now you guys.
Oh sure, no correlation to be found here. And in the 8th episode of Season 13, Our Idiot Brian, the Avengers question the usefulness of one of its members. So when Brian develops a brain tumor that's making him dumber, Stewie encourages him to get surgery so that he doesn't become as useless to the family as Black Widow is to the Avengers.
What's your superpower?
Kicking.
Oh right, because none of us can kick. Hey, which one of you guys can kick?
I know she can do more, but yeah, I'm struggling to find her usefulness against an alien invasion. Don't get too smug, Hawkeye, you're next on the chopping block. And in Season 14's Peter's sister, we learn how disturbingly strong Superman can be. So when the guys meet Peter's pro wrestler sister, Quagmire professes that she's as strong as Superman is on a date.
Yeah, I wasn't here, but I heard her scream, so I came flying in and found her like this.
What a great image to paint of our all-American hero.
Same cause of death as those 3 guys in that local public bathroom.
Oh, even better. And in the following episode, Hot Pocket Dial, Quagmire moves in next to one of Superman's greatest enemies. So after a falling out with Peter, Quagmire moves off Spooner Street and to an apartment that also houses Krypton's most notorious general.
Zod?
Hey, you're parked behind my trapezoid thing.
Yeah, I'll move it in a sec.
So criminals from the Phantom Zone can just get apartments here? Man, this town has really gone downhill.
Gaffer,
from Superman lives here?
And in season 15's Inside Family Guy, Mayor West finally dons his iconic costume. You may know Adam West as Quahog's favorite mayor, but once upon a time, he wore a cape and cowl and fought crime as the Cape Crusader, Batman.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
West portrayed Batman throughout the late 60s and would actually get annoyed when people would only recognize him as Batman. So when he joined Family Guy, the writers made sure not to write him into any overt Batman references. But in season 15, they couldn't resist sneaking in at least one. And in this meta episode, which gives us a peek behind the scenes of Family Guy, the mayor reveals some secrets.
This is how we did that. Bet you didn't know.
This is, of course, in reference to how they shot Batman and Robin scaling walls back in the 60s. We kinda did know, Adam, but thanks for the reminder on the wonders of television. And in season 16's 7th episode, Petey IV, we get a bit of a different spin on the film Captain America Civil War. So Peter's watching Family Guy's take on the movie, changing its name to Captain America Civil Union.
Well, Hawkeye, we've got you, Scarlet Witch, the Falcon, and, of course, Randy.
As a lifelong comic book fan, I was stoked to finally see Randy make his way into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
You know Randy, lives in my guest house. We've been friends since college. He's my pal.
Pals, huh? If only you wore your true feelings for Randy like you do the country's flag.
You are such a coward.
Randy!
Oh yeah, Black Panther, Iron Man, Black Widow, War Machine, and Vision are also there. It's one happy, totally not awkward family reunion. And in the 11th episode of season 16, Peter becomes the famous Merc with a mouth. When you think about it, Peter and Deadpool are pretty similar. You know, both being wisecracking, fourth wall breaking psychopaths and all.
Call me Red Stool. The treatment didn't give me powers, but it did spread cancer to my ass.
And so we're treated to a little recreation of the highway shootout from the first Deadpool movie, but with more songs about the butt. Decapitation in slow motion. And in season 16's Veteran Guy, both a Marvel and DC superhero go to war over who's cooler. So when the guys become Coast Guards, they gain the perks of hanging out with the ocean's greatest heroes.
We're hanging out with Aquaman.
I told you, I'm not Aquaman. I am the Submariner.
AKA Namor, Marvel's own deep sea hero who is somehow less cool than Aquaman.
I'm just like Aquaman, but I can't get fish to do things.
That's the big thing.
I wouldn't say this outfit's doing you any favors either. Congrats, Aquaman, this is the one day you actually get to look impressive. Yeah, he's got you beat, Namor.
I have little wings on my feet!
It's over.
And in season 17's Heiress, Herbert returns from the dead like a beloved Marvel character. So Peter and Chris are fighting over Herbert's attention, which the old freak loves, until he realizes Peter isn't just some overweight kid.
Why are you being such a jerk, Dad?
Dad?
Yeah, might be time to get those eyes checked, old boy. And so Herbert has a pretty reasonable response to finding out he was attracted to someone he isn't 4 times older than. Oh, thank goodness, the nightmare that is Herbert is over.
I am Herbert!
But like any old demon, this guy can't be destroyed so easily. So yeah, this is a reference to the Guardians of the Galaxy character Groot, who Herbert even mimics by dancing at the end of the episode. I would just keep baby Groot away from this guy. And in season 17's Girl Interneted, Brian and Stewie learn the hard way to never mess with the Hulk. So while Brian's Prius is getting fixed up, he gets a huge Hummer to drive in the meantime, which brings even more douchey vibes out of him.
Where to?
Let's do donuts on Mark Ruffalo's lawn.
And so they do just that, ruining the MCU actor's perfectly nice yard.
Hey, why don't you turn into the Hulk? Oh right, you're just a Hollywood sissy.
Hey, what's that thing they're always saying? Something about not liking him when he gets angry?
Turns out old Mark really was the Hulk.
Well, you were warned for like the past 6 decades. And in the second episode of season 18, Bri-Da, we get a very brief appearance from Marvel's Spirit of Vengeance. So the guys are watching a commercial for Quahog's upcoming monster truck rally and gun show, the 2 ways to a hillbilly's heart.
See the Ghost Rider while smoking inside. Fire an AR-15 while smoking inside.
I know those Ghost Rider movies didn't do too well, but I'm still surprised to see Johnny Blaze has to resort to this for money now. And in season 18's Heartburn, Batman gets peeved by the misuse of his bat signal. So during a spoof of Fatal Attraction, Lois depressingly flicks her lamp on and off, unaware it's apparently connected to the bat signal.
I see it! God!
Good to know he's always suited up just in case. The underwear over tights look has gotta be hella uncomfortable. And in the 15th episode of season 18, Baby Stewie, the God of Thunder makes a brief appearance for haircut inspo. So after Stewie creates a device that transforms his mind into that of a regular baby's, Brian tries to reverse it.
Would you like to add a Hemsworth haircut? No.
Look, take it from me. If someone offers you a Hemsworth head of hair, you take the Hemsworth head of hair.
Would you like to first see a photo of what you're turning down? No. Too bad.
Ah, the God of Thunder and God of all of our hearts. And in Season 19's Boys and Squirrels, Peter carves a Marvel icon out of wood with his chainsaw. So Peter's putting his brand new chainsaw to work by creating wooden statues.
Hey guys, check it out. It's Groot.
Oh yeah, from that Marvel movie.
Close enough, Joe. I'm just glad Peter got over his fears and finally got around to seeing that movie.
I kind of want to see Guardians of the Galaxy, but I also kind of feel like there might be scary parts.
Hey, that's fair. James Gunn's made some scary movies. Have you guys seen Slither? Now that's a messed up movie. And in the 4th episode of Season 20, 80s Guy, we see what it'd be like if Superman was set in Boston, in case you were curious.
Are you Superman?
What is you, whacked in the head? I'm Clark. Plain old Clark.
What an Elseworlds idea. They should write 50 issues of this. And in Season 20, Episode 16, Prescription Heroine, Lois is put on trial by the High Court of Krypton. So while Lois is tripping during a prescription medication relapse, she envisions herself being put on trial.
Lois, you stand on trial for drug use prompted by mom-related boredom.
Yeah, that's such a 50s thing to do. Get with the times, girl. It's all about romance novel addiction now.
Guilty.
Guilty. You're on mute, Jor-El.
So yeah, that last guy doing his best boomer using Skype impression is Jor-El, Superman's father. And this whole scene is a recreation of General Zod's trial at the beginning of the 1978 Superman movie. Apparently Lois never saw that one. Unlike Lois, do you know of any references we missed? Let us know down in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more Family Guy content, including videos you can watch right now by clicking right here.